Hello there.
Hello there.
Alrighty then, my Jedi and Sith friends, my Mandalorians, my Megalorians. Oh, and hang on just a moment, I think a couple of Mon Calamari just walked in. Hey guys, join us. Yeah, you can sit there, that's fine. And thank you for your service. It is I coming at you once again, your friend, and your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today, as you've probably already guessed, we're talking about one of the most recognisable faces in the entire Star Wars franchise, Ahsoka Tano. And I should just say, every time I insinuate she has become synonymous with the modern Star Wars brand, I do receive a bit of backlash. And while I'm not saying she's as recognisable as Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Yoda, even Grogu, just take a look at the brand for the last 5-10 years. Look at the direction it's headed in. Ahsoka Tano, even to some extent, has become synonymous with the modern Disney Star Wars brand. Even at the parks, on Star Tours, I was there recently. The minute Ahsoka showed up, all of the kids and some of the parents cheered. And at this point, the majority of her story's been told under Disney, spanning the Clone Wars Season 7, Star Wars Rebels, Tales of the Jedi, which was awesome, Forces of Destiny, and I assure you that does count, The Mandalorian Season 2, an appearance in the Book of Boba Fett, and of course, her own live-action show. However, we have to remember that her existence predates the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. She was co-created in 2008 by Dave Filoni and George Lucas for the Clone Wars movie. Or should I say, the controversial Clone Wars movie. The very same film which gave us the first appearance of Rot of the Hutt, by the way. Oh yes, a lot of that stuff started with George. But as for Ahsoka, did you know she was originally envisioned as the Togruta youngling called Ashla from Attack of the Clones? That was until Dave Filoni realised that the ages don't match. So Ashla was essentially forgotten about, and Ahsoka Tano, as her own character, was born. The person who ends up becoming Anakin's Padawan. And what a crazy story she's had. And in canon, she still doesn't have a death. A lot of fans theorise that Dave Filoni is never going to have the guts to do it, especially with the implication that she's about to replace the daughter of Mortis. But in non-canon material, like in Legends continuity, did you know Ahsoka's story was a bit different? Because she emerged in 2008, a lot of her early development, which isn't shown in the movie or the Clone Wars series, is no longer canon. It no longer counts. For instance, certain Clone Wars comics and books. It's kind of weird to think of Ahsoka as a character who exists in the expanded universe, but she does. And it's even stranger to consider that in Legends, she never grows old. Seasons 1 to 6 are both canon and Legends, but not Season 7. Because that was created after Legends was relegated in 2014, it's only part of the newer Disney canon, which means everything after Clone Wars Season 6 doesn't count from a Legends perspective. And that gives us a very different Ahsoka. She never helped the rebellion, she never fought Vader on Malachor, and she was never saved by Ezra in the World Between Worlds. Instead, she has a very different fate. Because Ahsoka is absent for the majority of Season 6, barring that one vision from Yoda of her dying at the Jedi Temple, the last time we see her in Legends continuity is when she walks away from the Jedi Temple at the end of Season 5. George Lucas and Dave Filoni wanted to explain why she doesn't appear in Revenge of the Sith. The final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars Season 5 are some of the show's best. Anakin and Ahsoka are recalled to Coruscant to investigate a bombing at a Jedi Temple hangar. After the initial suspect reveals that she was working with a Jedi, Ahsoka is framed. She's then arrested by Tarkin, despite Anakin's insistence that she was innocent. Rather than submit to incarceration, Ahsoka flees to the underworld, and she teams up with former Sith acolyte, Asajj Ventress. Eventually though, they do capture Ahsoka and put her on trial. Meanwhile, Anakin is able to determine the real culprit, Barriss Offee, who turned to the dark side. Her reason for carrying out the act of sabotage was her belief that the Jedi had lost their way, that they were the villains in this war. Fast forward a little bit, and Barriss is captured. In Tales of the Empire, we know she was turned into an Inquisitor before she defected and turned back to the light. As for Ahsoka, on the other hand, she was cleared of the charges and was welcomed to rejoin the Jedi Order, but instead, feeling betrayed, she chose to walk away. Anakin tried to change her mind, but this was something that she had to figure out on her own, without the help of the Council and without the help of her master. Feelings of guilt and shame haunted Anakin, and we see this on full display in a later deleted scene.
Anakin, dwelling on Ahsoka's decision won't bring her back.
I miss her, okay? Is that what you wanted me to say? How would you feel if I turned into a major disappointment?
It's not the same.
It's precisely the same. How well would you sleep knowing I failed you?
Not very well, I imagine. Luckily, that isn't true, and never will be.
But in terms of Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Legends, that's pretty much where we're up to. Well, almost. There is one more scene that closes the book, and this comes from Star Wars Art Visions, published in late 2010, so 2 years before the Disney acquisition, and it was approved and forwarded by George Lucas himself. It's a celebration of the entire, and at that point, completed Star Wars saga. The book contains 120 paintings inspired by the Star Wars universe, from more than 100 renowned artists, and one of those pieces depicts Ahsoka Tano's final stand. It's titled, Now My Enemy, and it shows Ahsoka, lightsaber in hand, being confronted by Darth Vader and stormtroopers. Because of the design of the TK helmets, I think it's safe to say this is probably around 18 BBY, 1 year after Revenge of the Sith. And this is the last time we ever see Ahsoka in Star Wars Legends. Because let's be honest, if Vader can best her further down the timeline on Malachor in Rebels, then there's no way a Padawan iteration stands a chance. And for Expanded Universe fans, this is closure for the character. And originally before Tales of the Jedi, before the Ahsoka novel, Dave Filoni admitted that he wondered if Ahsoka should die during Order 66, even though she left the Jedi Order by then, if she was hunted down. And in canon we know she faced off against Inquisitors, worked her way to become Fulcrum, worked with Bail Organa and the Ghost Crew, but originally there were talks to just kill her off. And this question in and of itself is very divisive, because I've seen a lot of fans argue that Ahsoka should be long dead by now. If not in the Clone Wars, then in Rebels. Ahsoka surviving via a time portal did rub a lot of people the wrong way. The argument centering around the notion that Dave Filoni created time travel because he couldn't let Ahsoka go. A lot of people say dying at the hands of Vader was poetic and the perfect send-off. I understand that perspective, but at the same time, Ahsoka is crucial for the Mandoverse. I've loved her appearances so far, and you guys know, maybe controversially, I enjoyed the Ahsoka show. But this is how she died in Legends. Darth Vader tracks her down. For some reason, she's still on Coruscant. That doesn't make too much sense. Maybe after walking away, she lives in the low levels and was pulled back out. There are 2 Jedi behind her, and it looks as though she's about to lose. I have to be honest though, I do prefer how she's being handled in canon. Very excited for season 2. I thought you guys might enjoy this tidbit. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and may the Force be with you, always.